What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So, continuing on from what the previous video was, talking about the whole persecution of Palestinian Christians in Jerusalem this past weekend. I wanted to continue on, kind of talking more in depth about Gaza, and the continuation of what's going on there. I mean, I haven't talked about it a whole lot here lately. It's just because it feels like it's on constant repeat, like the same shit that's been going on now for now almost 2 years, year and a half, over a year and a half now. The same stuff that's been going on is just continuing to happen, and everybody's just forgetting about it, like not even concerned anymore about it. Israel is still bombing the shit out of Gaza. You're constantly having, every day there's 10 here dead, 20 here dead, 15 here dead, 14 here dead, whatever. Like there's bombings continuously happen. They have been under the longest siege of goods and humanitarian aid to date right now. Like complete siege of it, the longest they've had since October 7th. I think it's up to like it's over 45 days. I know. I think it's close to 50 or more now. Days that they have been under complete siege of all humanitarian aid. So now the constant concerns of the health of the Palestinians, being able to get food, water, just your your everyday things that we all take for fucking granted, they don't have access to. And every day they're losing and having less access to clean water, to food. Most Palestinians barely get one meal a day. You're having famine escalating at rapid pace. I mean, this, and on top of that, like I said, constant bombs being dropped, whether it's 2,000-pound bombs still being dropped in Gaza, whether it's shrapnel type bombs that's dropped and spews shrapnel everywhere, killing people, or embedding shrapnel all in them, whether it's whoever it is, even kids. The concern is not there anymore. We just completely forget it and don't care about it. You don't see it that much in the main media anymore. You don't see it discussed much anymore. The only thing that you see discussed is how our dumbass president wants to sit there and talk about how we're going to take it over one day, and the properties, and how beautiful, we're going to build it, turn it into the, whatever, a paradise, in Israel, one day. It's mind blowing, and that we're going to own it, which really means that Israel's going to own it, which is what they want to begin with and wanted all along. And we know this. There was even a filmmaker a few days ago murdered. She just found out that her film that was about Gaza and about the stuff going on there, whatever, was about to become like on the independent film kind of scene, like it was about to win an award, or I think, or either it was about to hit into some major theaters or something of that to aspect. She was just found out that it was, going internationally, big thing, and Israel targeted her and killed her. Like the day after, or 2 days after. This is what we're talking about. They're constantly targeting. They have an AI program that sits there and identifies and creates a list of targets. A list that has like 37,000 targets on it. And that's what Israel, the IDF is using to supposedly target people and kill them. And it's being reported that most of the time they don't even really like look into any of these targets. They don't look into what the AI program is creating or what they're identifying, spending just seconds looking at it and then action. I haven't done this very in a while, but let's look at an infograph. This is from Euromed Monitor, where they pretty much get their information from the Gaza Health Administration or whatever. Right now, the number is at 60,000. That's what's being reported, although it's pretty much understood that that number is probably easily doubled. Easily doubled. But that's all that they're willing to actually, that they have actually identified, and then what they suspect or presume could still be under the rubble, although they don't really know the official number that's under the rubble. So 10% of the population is either killed, injured, missing, or detained. 60,250 killed. 50,000 is from the health records. 54,000 of that are all civilians. 18,000 children, 12,000 women. So 32% of the casualties are children. 21% of the casualties are women. You have 40,000 orphans. 9 out of every 10 people killed are civilians. There's 121,000 injured. 4,790 detained or forcibly disappeared. Euromed Monitor conducted interviews with 100 released detainees from Gaza and documented 42 forms of torture, inhumane, humiliating, and degrading treatment practice against Palestinians in Israeli prisons and detention centers, including rape, sexual assault, electrical shocks, spitting, urinating on detainees, strip searches, and willful killing under torture. A lot of that shit sounds like what they claim Hamas does. And I'm not trying to argue that Hamas doesn't. But it's like, the whole old school, what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander kind of thing. Or, well, just because they did, like it was, this is an eye for an eye. You do it, so we're going to do it. But we call you terrorists, but we're not terrorists. I mean, I don't even have to argue against the claims of Hamas when this stuff has been reported over and over and over again that the Israeli IDF soldiers and stuff are committing all these things. I mean, we've had the video released months ago where the anal prodding and stuff in the encampment and whatever, and the IDF soldier or whatever that was arrested for it or whatnot. And then what happened? You had Israeli government officials along with members of the Israeli citizens, public, regular people, going and protesting at the facilities and whatnot. But they weren't protesting over what was going on. They were protesting to actually have the person released that had been doing the raping. That's how far Israel has went. That they are actively protesting for committing crimes. And that was months ago. 546 days of genocide. 210 journalists killed. Civil defense workers killed, 113. Healthcare professionals, 2,748. 1,192 killed, 1,460 injured, 96 doctors killed. 97% of water, of the per capita share of water, has decreased due to the extensive destruction of water infrastructure. That's one of the first things they did. They're constantly targeting water infrastructures, gas infrastructures, fuel infrastructures, hospital, healthcare infrastructures, housing. 90%, over 90% of the houses are destroyed. 96% of the population face high levels of acute food insecurity. Around 100 Palestinians, including 42 children, have died due to severe malnutrition. That's probably not even close to accurate. It's probably way more than that. 60% of organized international humanitarian missions to North Gaza Strip have been prevented or obstructed by Israeli authorities. I tried to blow this up as much as I could for y'all to be able to read and follow me, but it looks like I'm not sure whether I have it blown up enough. But I think this is as big as I could get it. 90% of hospitals have been destroyed. 79% of buildings have been destroyed or damaged. 90% of the schools and universities have been damaged. 97% of the population was forcibly displaced at least once. Most of them have been displaced 2, 3, 4, 5 times or more. Six indicators Israel failed to comply with ICJ ruling. 1, massive killings. 2, causing serious physical mental harm. 3, imposing inhumane living conditions. 4, using starvation as a weapon. 5, imposing an environment meant to prevent childbirth. 6, public incitement to genocide. This is what we're looking at. This is what's going on. And this is just numbers. This is just words. I see it all the time. It's not hard to find. You see all the time videos of the bombings, the people rushing. I can't even remember. The other day I saw a video that was discussing child beheadments and how, that was the big argument in the early days or in the first few, days that, what was coming out that Hamas in their attack on October 7th, that there was so many children beheaded, and then all the and the raping and all these different things, and then come to find out that all of that was false. That there was only one, I think, baby that may potentially have been beheaded, but I don't know to like what caused that. And one potential rape that happened. And then like, but yet we've seen video after video from the bombings of Palestinian children beheaded or limbs blown off, sniped in the head by soldiers. I mean, it's and it's like we've completely lost the outrage. It's gone. This shit is continuing to go. It's just being forgotten about. I mean, we've had discussions of people of like the trying to push Palestinians out, right? With the whole discussions behind Trump and Netanyahu and that whole, we're going to take over the Gaza Strip bullshit. Like, basically trying to force Palestinians out of the area. But since that really isn't happening, you've even had the voluntary thing where they were trying to get people to voluntarily leave. And while there has been some people that have voluntarily left, it's not very many. So instead, it seems like they're just going to continue to bomb until they've just killed as many as they can. Still bombing churches, still bombing schools, still bombing hospitals, residential or tents and stuff. Constantly killing people. And where's the fucking outrage? It's lost. Because we're too busy with all the bullshit that's going on in our own country, for one, as far as the United States is concerned. And the chaos that Trump is creating around every fucking thing. But even the outrage from other surrounding countries, from the UN, I mean, yeah, there are still proceedings going on and there's still arguments being made over the situation, but there's no like coming together and being like, enough is enough. It's like nobody has the balls enough to say enough is enough and that this needs to end now. And Trump doesn't appear to care. He's just letting Israel and Netanyahu do whatever the hell they want. Because he doesn't care about the people. He's only looking at it as an ocean view property. Where he can hopefully erect a big, beautiful building with the gold letters of Trump on it. Because that's all he ever cares about. Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? We're still allowing Netanyahu to come here and visit just a few weeks ago for the second time. No outrage for having him arrested. Because, there is a warrant out for his arrest. There's several countries across Europe and stuff that aren't even complying to that and have said that they wouldn't. We are living in a moment in history that I can't help but think 50 years in the future, 100 years in the future, whatever, going to look back and be like, what the fuck? I mean, we are living through a modern day World War II Germany style, like Nazi shit. Israel is just being a little smarter about it and kind of doing it on a slower pace. Just little bit by little bit by little bit. Dragging it out so long that and our attention spans are just shit now that nobody can keep up with it. The attention of it is gone. And people aren't clued into it anymore like they were. Where's the outrage? These people should be locked up. Netanyahu and all of his government officials, Trump and all of ours, Biden and all of his, every fucking body that has had any kind of connection and could have stopped this should be fucking locked up. Throw away the fucking key. They have no business in any type of leadership positions. No business in deciding what we should and should not do when it comes to foreign policy, when it comes to how we treat people, when it comes to who has rights or not to live, to exist. I don't even know what more to say. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous what is going on and what has been going on. And this is no more about we're trying to go after Hamas. We're trying to, do away with Hamas. No, you're just fucking killing people. You're trying to exterminate a whole group of people. That's what you're doing. That's what you've been trying to do for decades. Ever since you got there and started to establish the current state of Israel. That's what you've been doing from day one. And all along, there's been some pushback here, pushback there that's prevented it. Little miniature wars here that. But I guess we are so far departed from the actions of World War II that and people don't remember what was going on and what happened during that time. It's like we're so departed from that we aren't recognizing that shit is happening again. Just like we're not recognizing the actions that Trump and his regime are doing for our country right now are very similar to the actions of fascism in Germany in that day. We're so departed from it, and people don't actually listen and apparently also don't fucking learn from history. And while I admit that I have not been harping on this as much as I should have, I've been spaced in even doing any kind of content on this channel as much as I wanted to. But like I said, I am moving in a direction where eventually I'm going full time. And eventually I'm going to be covering all this stuff all the time. And while I'm playing catch up right now, at least I'm talking about it. At least I am trying to figure out and trying to exclaim the concern that everybody should be having over this. And yes, it's not just here. You have the issue of Russia and Ukraine. You have the Sudan and the Congo. You have, there's lots of areas, but this is the particular area that is so out there in the open, so broadly captured. And yet we're doing nothing about it. It's so in your face. It's so undeniable. Even though there's shit tons of people trying to deny it, even in the media, it is so blatantly undeniable what's happening. And yet the outrage doesn't seem to equate to the actions being taken. The actions are up here, way out the fucking frame. And the outrage is like, it was here, but it's starting to fall. It's starting to lose perception, lose the view on it. And while we're losing that view, losing that sight on what's going on, Israel is ramping up. It ain't like they've done tampered down, and that's the reason why we're not hearing it or not seeing it. They're actually ramping up their actions, even worse than what they previously were doing when it was in our view. Which is why they can get away with it without it too much being said about it. I'm going to try to stay on it as much as I can. I'm going to try to bring it up as much as I can because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be exclaimed just as much as everything else. And I know that's oftentimes the argument is that, well, we can't focus on everything at the same time. We got to focus on this and then we'll work on that and we'll focus on... No, the fuck. That is a horrible excuse. Everything should be focused on. Everything should be focused on. It is not that difficult to focus on these things and to outrage on these things all at the same time because it's all fucked up. It's all fucked up. And we can't focus on one fucked up thing and let this other fucked up thing continue to be fucked up. You get what I'm saying? Or it's just going to continue to be even fucking worse. And I know I'm spitting a lot of fucks here, but it needs to be shared. It needs to be brought back into the frame of attention in our local medias, in our, and it is being done, I think, fairly effectively, even in our protests movements across the country. Although there's, concentration in other areas a little bit more, but it's got to stay there. It's got to stay within the realm of sight and of view and of our ears, in our minds, to not be forgotten. Because if we just let this continue, if we let this happen and do nothing about it on any kind of grand scale, then we have just then we've basically given to anything happening anywhere. We've lost full moral concept, full international degree of respect and control for humanity anywhere, or control of governments and militaries anywhere. There's got to be constant check on our governments and our militaries, no matter who they are. I don't give a shit if they're a enemy or considered an enemy or an ally. Everybody should always be put in check. Period. Shouldn't just be allowed because we consider them an ally. And if that's the case, then we really need to start, thinking about why we consider people allies. And what is it in what is that for us? Why is that for us as a country? Thank you for joining me. And let me know what you think on the subject. Let me know what you think of what's going on over there. Discuss things in the comment section that I didn't cover here. Whether you want to get specific on specific events, because I didn't really get. It's hard to hit on specific things, but if you want to bring it to light, please bring it to light in the comments, and let's talk about it. Discuss it, get angry over it, whatever. Thank you very much. And until next time, peace. ClearTalk, I'm out.